Good morning, everyone. It's day 16 already. I hope you're fine this morning. It seems a bit dark and gloomy today, but let's see what's behind day 16, shall we? It is a hammer. A hammer. You'll remember that the people of God, the ones back here that we had, God's special family with Abraham and all his family, moved and they were in a different land. They've come through Babylon, and now we pick up the story in the land of Persia. It was a beautiful land, and do you remember God, through the prophet, had promised those people that they would live there. God would be with them, but it wouldn't be the place that he wanted them to be in. And one day, God, through another prophet, spoke to a man called Zerubbabel. Isn't that a cool name? Zerubbabel. And he happened to be the great, I don't know how many greats, of King David. And he was in God's special family. And he picked Zerubbabel and said to him, Zerubbabel, I want you to go back to my land. I want you to go back to the temple. Will you go back to the temple and build it and rebuild it and make it good again? Now, when Zerubbabel heard this, he was quite thrilled, because that meant that God was coming back to them. Because do you remember, that was the place, the temple was the place where they could meet with God. And God had come down at that time in the form of a cloud and a fire. And he knew that this was maybe the beginning of something that God was going to be doing. He needed to go to the king to check that that was all right. And this time, unlike poor Joseph, poor Moses, when he had to go to Pharaoh, this king, God was talking through him. And this king said, yes, of course you can go back. You go to your land, and that's fine. And yes, take as many friends as you want. So many of them left the land of Persia and travelled all the way back and started to rebuild the temple. That's why they needed the hammer. They also needed wood and gold and fabric and all the things to make the temple beautiful again and to make it work. There were people, as always in all of our days and stories, there were people who didn't like it, and they tried to stop him. Some of them just moaned and said, oh, that's not as good as it was before. That's no good. That's not going to be good enough. But Zerubbabel, he knew in his heart that God was with him. It was what God wanted him to do. He was following what God said, and he knew that that was the right thing to do. And what he was doing was making what this prophet had said come true. Let me just read it to you. The prophet Jeremiah said, you won't be far from home forever. The temple won't be gone forever. Does it feel like you're all alone? Does it feel like my plans aren't working anymore? That's not the case, said God. I'm still with you, and I still have a plan. Not just a today plan, but a tomorrow plan. In fact, it's a forever plan, and a good one too. It's a plan to take all the wrong and make it right, to take all the darkness and make it light. It's a plan to bring you back home to me. And Zerubbabel and his friends and the people who were following God knew that. And this was a time when they could now realise that God was back with them. But because of all the opposition, I wonder if they started to think, maybe this isn't the only way that we can have God with us. Maybe there needs to be a better way. Maybe God needs to come and actually live with us. And I wonder what the rest of the bricks and blocks are going to show us for the rest of the week. I'm excited about this week coming. I hope you are too. Join me tomorrow for day 17, and we'll see what's behind that block. Take care. See you tomorrow. Bye.